What's up, YouTube? I'm Robert. This is the Biker Channel, B1. Today, we have this car tire patch kit, and we're going to try to use it on a mountain bike tire.
In the past, whenever I would puncture a tire, it would usually need replacing anyway. But as you can see here, this tire is still pretty good. So hopefully this cheap fix will breathe a little extra life into this tire. So let's take the tire off and get started. This step isn't needed, but it's one that I normally forget about until I've gotten myself all dirty.
Let's just wipe this thing down a little bit, get all the excess dirt off, because once we get into the cush core, it's not going to be pretty.
You can let the air out of the tire however you want, but personally, I prefer to take the valve core out.
I'm going to tell you right now, a few months ago, Cush Core sent me this thing, and let me tell you, it's been an amazing tool. If you don't have one, you should definitely pick one up. It gives you a great handle to when you're trying to seat the tire, so it doesn't like dig into your palm, and it also is pretty good for taking one off.
Do your best not to punch any babies while taking the tire off the rim. It can be challenging. I typically use 2 levers under the bead at the same time to pop it over the top of the rim. Then just grill it the rest of the way off and repeat on the other side. If your sealant isn't all dried up, you'll want to take the tire back out and hose it off again. If you have a tire plug in the hole, go ahead and pull that out. Since this is a tubeless tire, the inside will have a bunch of dried up sealant on it. You'll want to peel that off to give your patch a clean surface to adhere to. As you can see, I've got a pretty decent sized hole there.
Alright, let's open this thing up. See what we're working with here. We got some cement and one big patch and 2 little patches. These will probably be good. And then like a little scraper thingy.
Make sure you use the little scraper to scratch up the tire where you're going to put the patch so the adhesive has something to grab onto. It also helps to pull up some of the latex sealant that may be stuck to the area. The lid has a little poker on it that you can use to break the foil on the glue. Then apply a generous amount of glue. I spread it around a little bit with the tube. Then peel the bottom of the patch off and apply it to the tire.
It doesn't tell you how long it needs to dry. You would think that would be an important part of the directions. I looked online and everything was saying like 15 minutes or so for the rubber cement to dry. So I left it go for like an hour while I went and ate lunch. There is still this like plastic coating on here that doesn't make sense for me for it to be there. I kind of want it to come off. I don't know if it's supposed to be there or not. Oh yeah, look at this. Oh, it's so... yeah, it feels so good. Let's see what happens when we mount it.
Keep in mind when you mount the tire, pay attention to the tread pattern. I can't tell you how many times I put one on backwards. As a matter of fact, check this out in 3, 2, 1.
The writing always goes on the drive side. If you're one of those perfectionists with tires, allegedly the valve stem has to be lined up with the logo. So let's do that. Not piss off the internet, right?
Some tires have a little arrow that show you which way the wheel should spin. And you would think, well, maybe the guy on YouTube showing how to install a wheel would put it on right. But guess what? Nope. Yep, that's me doing it backwards again. At least with Maxxis, the side of the tire that has all the writing on it, that's the side that goes on the drive side, not the brake side like I'm demonstrating here. We'll go ahead and pretend that I just like running the tread pattern backwards. Some tire wheel combos will pop right on like this. Others will need a little more work. I seat my tires with an air compressor. Some people can do it with a hand pump. If you have an air compressor, it's a little easier. In addition, I'm also a guy that puts my sealant in through the valve stem. Some people can just pour it in the tire and manage to not make a mess. That's not me.
I like to push the air out like this. And then you put the thing on. And so that way, whenever you let your pressure off the tire, you can also lift it, and then it helps suck the sealant in there.
Don't forget to put your valve core back in and air the tire up to your favorite pressure.
I usually fill the tire up to 40 right out the gate, and then bounce it around a little bit, let the sealant kind of mix around inside of the tire, and then at that point I will let some air out to get it to the right pressure. All right, at this point, we'll just put this thing back on and get it out there and give it a test.
I couldn't think of anywhere better to test it out than to go to Downeyville. Definitely plenty of chunk there, and I also solved my problem with the tire being on backwards.
That was me breaking a lot of spokes.
Unfortunately, I smashed my derailleur into a rock earlier in the day, and as you can see, the rim definitely needs rebuilt. So, guess what? I get to take that tire off after all.
Well, there you have it. Apparently you can put it through the ringer and it still holds. So I'm pretty sure this is gonna be my new trick up the sleeve. So I'm stoked about that. If you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up, maybe hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, just remember one thing, it only takes a bike to be a biker. Get out and be one.